This is Gemara Pesachim Daf Non Dalid. All the learning for the month of TV says it's featured as special Chosi Neshama for Liyah Rasha Basavari Alib, as well as Chosi Neshama Liyah Arieli Ben Yaakov Neshama Shavin Aliyah. Of course, our Chadim Chambid and Malgi Demir Ben Nikir Men Vavigel Michel Sipur Nasli Yehuva Chayim Ben Sars on Simon Rezid those are Baskenet to the Basim as Chayisa you see Ob Mindel has been the Javalei Shama Bas Navim Shavigo Shulchan Al David to Riva Shmo Ben Tila Esther Rivka Bas Slava the Baruch Bas Musa Dinil Ben Chana Rייזל Malkil Chaya Balchaya Bas Mina Yudar Yaleb Yudar your fall Ben Yita B'Sarei Shar Chali Yisrael. We pick it up towards the bottom of the Gilman base, 3 lines into the wide lines right after the Mishnah. Yesterday was an exciting day. Yesterday we had the famous Gemara of learning out the Chanani Mishav Azariah jumped into the fiery furnace, and how do they know you can be Mekadosh your name, Mekadosh yourself? How do you know they give your life? They learn it out from the frogs. This Friday they jumped into the ovens. Today a bunch more of very, very famous. I got it to Gemaras. Let's begin. We learned to the Mishnah yesterday. The Mishnah taught us there were different minhagim about lighting candles on Yom Kippur. We didn't really explain why. It says the Gemara. Tanim learned to the Mishnah. Whether you say to light the candle or not to light the candle, Shneim l'davar echad niskamnu. Apologies. They're both coming to teach you the same thing, which Rashi explains. They're coming to make sure that the couple does not have relations. It is Aser Tashish Amit on Yom Kippur. So the machlokes, what's the best way to ensure that? One minhag was don't have candles. If you don't have candles, the couple won't see each other and he won't come to have relations. The other minhag is no, specifically have candles, because you know when there's candles, you're not allowed to sleep together. They're both coming to say the same point. Yeshua Darish Rava Darshan V'amcha Kulam Tzadikim Lo Yeshua. It's Klal Yisrael Tzadikim V'Gaimer whatever their minhag, whether the minhag was to light, whether the minhag was not to light, shneim leniskamnu ella l'davar echad. They both come to do the same thing, to safeguard halacha. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel ein mevarchen al ar ella b'motzai Shabbos. Once we're dealing with fires and Yom Kippur, we go into halachas of Havdalah. Says the Gemara, you only make a bracha on Eish on Motzei Shabbos. Why? Why do you make a bracha on Eish on Motzei Shabbos? Hayil tchilas b'yasayu. That is when the Eish was created. So we make a bracha then. The elder, and some say Rabbi Chana said, Yasher, you are correct. And that is what Rav Yochanan says as well. Story says the Gemara. Ulav was riding a donkey. Vazal Avishakel. Vazal Rav Abba Miyamine. Rav Abba was on his right. Rav Chanan is small. Rav Chanan was on the left. Amar Lei Rav Abba. Rav Abba said Ula. Rav Abba from the right side says to Ula, is it true that which I see in the name of Rav Yochanan? That you only make a bracha on Eish Motzei Shabbos because that's when Eish was created. Hu Hadar Ula Chazabei. Ula looked back with a discerning eye, saying, "What are you talking about?" One of those looks that could melt. Amr Leah, no lava Amri. It's not what I said it about. Elo Amri, I said about a different din. Zani Tana Kamed Rav Yochanan. That we learned in front of Rav Yochanan of Shimon Elazar. Aimer Yom Kippurim Shechal Dios BeShabbos Avmak Shamur Shalalik Malikim Nekaved Shabbos. That is special was din that was on Yom Kippur on Motzei Shabbos, even in a place which in a normal year does not light candles on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur on Motzei Shabbos they showed Mimnei Kavod Shabbos. But Rav Yochanan Basrei, and Rav Yochanan responded afterwards that Chachamim Eisrim, Chachamim say is Aser. Amar Lei, and he responded, Eida Tehei Kari Alei. That is the appropriate statement. That is what the right member was that I indeed said. And Rav Yosef, I'm sorry, Eida Tehei. That Kari Alei Rav Yosef. So Rav Yosef responded, what's going on over here? Mayim Abukam Eitzim Belevish. The depth of the waters is advice in the hearts of the man. As Rashi, so one Rashi points out the bottom of Eida Tehei, Zois Tehei, this is the way it should be, that he was Maida, this is what Rav Yochanan said. And they learned out from the Pasuk of Mayim Amukim Eisa B'Levish, that while moving along to Nundalid, Amid Aleph explains the Gemara, Veish Tavuna, Yidalena. That Mayim Amukim Eisa B'Levish, what does that refer to? Is that Ula? That refers to Ula. Vishtavuna Yidalena is the Rabbi Rav Chana, and that refers to Rabbi Rav Chana. Again, we're showing that the Mayim Amukim, the depth, is he was able to tell just from the look that he gave him how wrong he was, and he was able to switch his din. Ve'inu Kaman Spira. Who do we hold like? Ki Hada Amar Rabbi Yamin Bar Yefes Rav Yochanan Mevarchen Alahar Bein Mimaydai Shabbos Bein Don't get nervous. We hold like this shita that we make a bracha on the Ar, both Motzei Shabbos and Motzei Yom Kippur. V'chein Ama Davar, and that is the appropriate din. We make a bracha on Eish, not only on Motzei Shabbos, but as well Motzei Yom Kippur. Says the Gemara, Meisvei, Ein Mavarchen Alar Motzei Shabbos. Why are you telling me make a bracha even on Motzei Yom Kippur? We see it clear in the Brisa. You only make the bracha on Motzei Shabbos. That is when the Eish, the fire, was created. The first time you see the Eish, miyad, you make the bracha. Rav Yehuda Omer, no, like we do. So I do not like you say everything on the kais. You say it on the cup. You make a bracha on the Eish. But you don't. The first second you see the Eish on the kais, on the seder of Avdallah, you make the bracha on Eish. We pass like Rav Yehuda. Seemingly he didn't have a problem with it. So why are you saying that we make a bracha even on Motzei Shabbos? Says the Gemara, like Kash again. We have a stira. Do we yes make a bracha? Not on Motzei Shabbos. I'm sorry. On Motzei Yom Kippur or not? First we said yes. Then he seemingly agreed with Rav Yehuda that you would not have to make the bracha, that you should not make the bracha. Says the Gemara, Kan ba'or she'shavas, Kan ba'or ayoytzim and eitzim and avonim. If the Ar is shavas, the Ar was extant, the Ar was around the entire Yom Kippur, or it was lipa heter, then you can yes make a bracha Motzei Shabbos, because then you can make a bracha discerning between the fire that was and the fire that is. However, if it's a new fire, then you would not make the bracha Motzei Shabbos. Tani, and now the Gemara continues a similar answer. Tani Chad, we learned to one Mishnah. Alright, yotzim and eitzim and avonim. A fire that comes from wood and stone, you yes make a bracha. Stira, like Kasha, can be Motzei Shabbos, can be Motzei Yom Kippurim, that a Motzei Yom Kippur you're only going to make the bracha on an Ar Sheshavas. This is obviously should give us a chaymer adavar than a Motzei Yom Kippur. Everyone always tries. Believe la halach, if you don't have an Ar Sheshavas, you should go and borrow one. Very, very b'diavad, you can use a regular candle. But this is the reason why we keep a fire, the Yartzei candle burning throughout Yom Kippur. That is the bracha that we make on Motzei Yom Kippur, the bracha of Ish. Rabbi Mifazran, Rav Chia Machnisan. So Rebbe used to spread out the brachas, and Rav Chia would pull them in. Meaning Rebbe would make an Eish when he saw the Eish, Besamim when he saw the Besamim, and the Kais when he saw the Kais. Rav Chia would bring them all together on the Kais, like we do. Am Rav Yitzchak bar Rav Dimi Avalpi, Rebbe Mifazran. Even though Rebbe on his own did that, but then he would gather them together and you make the Havdalah al-Seder, the Eish, the Pesachim, the Havdalah for the rest of his family. I'm sorry, says the Gemara of Shabbos Ivrei. Okay, end of discussion how you make Havdalah. But now says the Gemara, 1 second. You just kept on pointing out that the fire was made on Motzei Shabbos. That's why you make a bracha on Motzei Shabbos. Is that true? Was fire really created on Motzei Shabbos? Vatani went in a Brisa. Asar Dvarim never Erev Shabbos. 10 things were created on Erev Shabbos. Binash Shmashais during twilight Elohim. Be'er, the Be'er Shal Miriam, Va'amon, the Mon V'keshes in the rainbow. Ksav v'michtav, the way to write the luchais, and the part that the luchas were written on, the pen and the tablets. The luchais, Giver Shal Moshe, and the cave of Moshe Rabbeinu. Uma'ara Shamar by Moshe, and the cave that Moshe and Eliyahu stood by. Psichos B'Asayin, the opening of the mouth of the camel that spoke to Bilam. Psichos B'Haaretz, and the opening of the ground that swallowed up Kairach Levloya Es Rishayim, to swallow up the Rishayim. Rav Chemia, I remember Shemav V'Afa'ar V'Apered, even the light and the mule was created on Erev Shabbos. Rav Yishaya, I remember Shemav V'Afa'il V'Ashamir Ha'ayil and Hashamar, the Ayil by the Kiddush Yitzchak. And as well the shamir, which was the snake that they used to cut the stones in the Beis Hamikdash. All these items were created on Erev Shabbos. Rav Yehuda Omer, Avat Seves, even the tongs that were used to create iron were also created on Erev Shabbos, says Rav Yehuda. Now he explains, a tongs, you need another tongs to create. Tongs, you're talking about the blacksmith tongs, they have to hold the metal into the fire. So in order to make one, you have to hold the other one into the fire. Who created the first tongs? He must be, it was a creature from heaven who was created on Erev Shabbos. No, it's not a raya. Actually, I said a bit no, maybe they made a mold and they poured in the lead, and that's how they poured in the metal, and that's how they made the first kongs. Given high adam, he really was created by a person. Says Gemara like Asha. So after this whole lengthy brisa, we left with an issue. We originally said, excuse me, that the Ar was created on Motzei Shabbos. That's why we were making a bracha on the Eish. But we just proved extensively in this brisa that the Ar was created on Erev Shabbos. Says the Gemara like Kasha. Haba arti done. Haba art the Gehenim. Our fire versus the fire of Gehenim are done. But my say Shabbos, the regular light are the Gehenim be'erev Shabbos. But are the Gehenim be'erev Shabbos? Every ask the Gemara. But Tanya, first one line is Vahab, about 12 lines into the 5 lines. Shiva Dvar Nevru Kaidim Shivrailam. 7 things were created before the world. So we had 10 things in Erev Shabbos. Now we have 7 things that were created prior to the whole world. Be'elohein Taira Tshuva Gan Eden 3. Gehenim 4. Kisei Kavod 5. Beis HaMikdash 6. Ushmashal Mashiach. That is 7. So we see that what Gehenim was created before the world was created. So I can tell them that Gehenim was created Matzei Shabbos. Before we get back to that answer, first the Gemara proves Tayyur Dechsev Hashem Kanani Reishis Darkoi. We see it says Reishis, it was the first. Shu Dechsev B'Terem Aram Yulad, before the mountain dew was created. Uksevenu says Tashav En Hashadakov Atem Yishuv B'nei Adam. We see that you have to do tshuva. Gan Eden Dechsev Yat Hashem Elikim Gan B'Eden Mikadem. That it was very early before everything. Gehenim Dechsev Ki Arich Me'at Mal Teifata will be opened up. Kisei Kavod Beis HaMikdash Dechsev Kisei Kavod Mara Mirishayin Makai Mikdash Sheni. Shemaisha Mashiach Dechsev Yishamai Lo'elam. His name should be forever. Livnei Shamash Inan Shemai. So says the Gemara, what do we see? We see very clearly that the Gehenim was created before the whole world was created. Answers the Gemara, Amri Chalalu de Nevra Kodesh Evra Alam. The empty cavity, the space for Gehenim, that was created before the world was created. However, of Ardi Day, Erev Shabbos, the light was created on Erev Shabbos. Ardi Day, the light was created on Erev Shabbos. Says the Gemara, is that true of Ardi Day, Erev Shabbos every? The light was created on the second day of the week, on Monday. And like that light will never be extinguished. Go see the sinners, and their sins will never cease. Why does it say ki toiv? On Monday, you know why? We see Gehenim was created on Monday. Furthering the Brayz on Monday, on Friday it said as kol asher asa v'nei toiv me'oid. So says the Gemara, how could he tell me that Gehenim was created, but we see it was created on Monday? Ella explains the Gemara, the cavity for Gehenim, the place that Gehenim takes up, whatever that means, that was before the world was created. V'ardi day, and the light itself was b'sheni b'Shabbos on Monday. V'ardi day, the light of Gehenim, that was on Monday. V'ardi dawn, an hour light, machshava al libros b'erev Shabbos. Shem thought about kaviyach, whatever that means, creating it on Friday. V'lei nivran maitzai Shabbos. The Tanya, like we see in our Rייzel of Yesi Aimer, Shnei devarim al machshava libaros b'erev Shabbos, like never had Motzei Shabbos. 2 things were in the mind of Hashem to create before Shabbos. He didn't create them until Motzei Shabbos. Over Motzei Shabbos, those are the Kadosh Baruch Hu Day about the Marishain, and on Motzei Shabbos, Hashem gave the knowledge to Adam Marishain, meaning Dugma Shalmeila, similar to a heavenly knowledge. Ve'vishnei Avadim and Adam Marishain. All of a sudden, took 2 stones. And he created the first fire. He said similarly, he took 2 animals, and he put them together, bred them, and parrot, and created a mule. So we see that it was the das, the chshava, the ideal was in Erev Shabbos, the actual creation was on Motzei Shabbos. If Shimon Gamliel Omer, parrot be mei ana haya, was in days of ana, shlemar hu ana asher matzah. As a yamim b'midbar, darshe chamurais haya imrim ana. Apostle Haya. This person Anna was apostle of Ikachevi, apostle Elam, he brought something apostle to the world, the crossbreeding of this mule. Shenamar says in the Torah, Ela b'nei Sira Chayri Yuksev, Ela b'nei Sivon v'Ayavana. Ela, you know, we see from here Malamin Shabbat Sivon al Imai. Sivon slept with his mother, V'Ela Mimenu Anna. That's where Anna came from, seeing that Anna was really not a great person. Says Gemara, how do you know that? V'Doma Trey Anna, maybe they're 2 different Annas. Amarava Amina Milsa the Shavar Malka, Layamra Omanu Shmuel. I'll tell you something that Shavar Malka didn't say. And who was that? Shmuel, he could the Amri, Amar Rav Papa, Amina Milsa, the Shavar Malka, Lo Yamra, Umanu Rava, Amar Kra, Huana, the Meikara, it's the same person, and that's the Gemara's Raya, that it came out from a not nice person. But again, what do we see after the lengthy discussion? We see that there were really 3 stages of creation of light. We see that there was Gehenim was created on Monday, the cavity of Gehenim, was created on Monday, the light of Gehenim was on Friday, and the actual light itself, the fire was created on Motzei Shabbos, that's when, I'm sorry, I said that incorrectly. There was 4 stages. One was before the world was created. Then there was the Monday. Then there was the Machshava for the fire on Friday of Hashem. And then on Motzei Shabbos, Hashem gave the Das to Adam Arisha to actually create the fire. When he took the first 2 stones and he created, and that's the reason why we make a bracha on Eish. Hopefully this Shabbos will give a bit more of a meaning of the bracha of Eish when we make it on Motzei Shabbos. Says the Gemara. Tanur Rabbanon, 5 lines to the bottom. 10 things were created on Erev Shabbos being Hashmashes, twilight. The rainbow. The writing and the instrument to write, Valuchas and the Luchas. And the cave that Moshe Eliyahu stood up. And the opening of the donkey's mouth, psichos bi'aretz for kairach. Lavleis or Rishayim to swallow the Rishayim. V'yeshayim, and some say, Av ma'kalu shal arm shkid v'archel. The stick of Aaron that grew the almonds on it, that was also created then. V'yeshayim af amazikin, the mazikin were created. Again, these are all the things created in Erev Shabbos. Yeshayim af. What else? Move along to the Daladam and the Beis, because they shall Adam Arisha, the clothing of Adam Arisha, which Rashi speaks out, had the shemais of all the different animals, etc., carved onto. Concluding this wonderful Igadata, Shiva Dvarim Mechusim Mimnei Adam, 7 things were concealed from Adam Elohim, Yom HaMiz, the day of his death, Yom HaNecham, the day of his consolation, V'yomek Adin, the depth of the judgment, V'ein, Adam Yodea, and man does not know, Ma Beliba Shal Chaveru, what's in the heart of his friend, V'ein Yodea Ma Shtaker, how to get wealthy, Malchus Beis David, Masai Tachsar, when Mashiach is going to come, Machs Chayeves, Masai Tichla, when the Malchus of nowadays will be destroyed. Tanur Rabbanon, Gimel Dvarim Al Machshav Libaris, 3 things Hashem had in his mind, again, kaviyach, whatever that means to create. And if he didn't think about them, he should have thought about them, whatever that means. Alameis, meaning we're just bringing out how wonderful these things are. That the mace gets putrefied. So the mace did not get putrefied, no one would bury the mace. That would be a bizayon. The one forgets about the mace. Of course, one doesn't forget, but that the eases of the burden and the pain, that the grain rat, that people accept currency is a miracle. Why do people accept currency? Just a representation. These are 3 things that Hashem made happen. Says the Mishnah on the Dalam Beis, Makam, continuing our parakam of Minhag, Mag Shanagu Lasas Malach Tisha B'Av. Oisin. So they don't have the minute to do work at Tisha B'Av Malacha in Oisin. B'chol Makayim. Tamid Chachamim V'Tilim, they don't work. You should make yourself like a Talmid Chacham. And Rashi points out, what does that mean? It's not going to be haughty. If you want to be Mavatal, you're allowed to be on Tisha B'Av. Says the Gemara Amar Shmuel, Ein Tainis Sibur B'Bavel Ela Tisha B'Av, the only Tainis Sibur, the only Tainis of the congregation was Tisha B'Av, and Rashi points out what's the reason, because they did not need the rain, and therefore the only thing that they would geyser on is going to be Tisha B'Av. Says the Gemara, L'meimra. Let's actually read a little further in that Rashi. Meaning you never will have the chomer of Tisha B'Av, which means it starts the night before, etc. Says the Gemara, L'meimra does have a Shmuel. You tell me the Shmuel holds Tisha B'Av B'ina Shmash Shalai Aser. It sounds like Shmuel agrees that Tisha B'Av itself has the chumrah, which is what it starts the night before. Mutter doesn't start the night before. Maybe you'll tell me Shmuel really held that by every fast day Ben Hashmash is mutter. But we learned you let eat and drink during the day. What does that exclude? That you're not allowed to eat and drink in Ben Hashmash. We see clearly Tisha B'Av does start the night before. Says when it already gets dark, when it's a vaday, not when it's a bin hashmashais. Says the Gemara, name Messiah lay. Let me bring you a raya. Ain't being Tisha B'Av liyom kibburim. There's no difference. Ella shezet sveika yaser. That's Sveika Motor. What does it mean that the suffix of Yom Kippur is us, the suffix Tisha B'Av is Motor? Mas Sveika Motor, Lamin Hashmashais. Says, so seemingly that's a right, the Bin Hashmashais is Motor. Answers the Gemara, Lo, it's not what it means. It means Kedik Amar. It means Kedik Amar Rav Shishi Breder Rav Idi Lekviya Di Yarcha. Chanami. What it means is the Kviya Di Yarcha. That's what it means by a suffix. That's when it's going to be Asar on Yom Kippur and Motor on Tisha B'Av. It does not refer to Bin Hashmashais. Daresh Rava says the Gemara about 13 lines for the white lines in Nidal and Mebeis. Ubarais Umeinikais Misanois. Shlimas, pregnant woman and nursing woman have to fast and complete the fast. Kederush Shlimas Shlimas. B'Yom Kippurim, again, this is the din on Tisha B'Av. U'bein Hashmashes Shaloi Aser, it's going to be forbidden bein Hashmashes. Chinamar Mishmei Rav Yechanan, and Rav Yechanan concurs. Says Mar, really? Umir Rav Yechanan Achi. Vam Rav Yechanan Tisha B'Av ain't Gedai Nesibur. Tisha B'Av is not like Gedai Nesibur. My love bein Hashmashes. Says Mar Loi L'Mlacha means for doing work. Malacha. Tanina, we learned that in the Mishnah. Malkim Shanagu Las is Malacha. A place they have the minhag. Tisha B'Av Aisid. Malkim Shanagu Shalas Malacha ain't Aisid. So that's a straight up Mishnah. It's only in the minhag. Says the Gemara. Afilu Shimon Gamliel Loi Amar Ella. Zechiyasiv Loi Avi Loi Mechsekura. Shimon Gamliel only said if you want you could refrain, but we see it's not a din. Aval Meser Loi Aser. We see it's not Aser to do work. Ella Mayina Kedani Sibur Letfilas Neila means with Neila. That's the difference between Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur. Says Mar, really? Rav Yechanan. Halavai you should daven the whole day. Seemingly you should be able to daven Neila. Answers Mar, no. It's a rishos to daven the whole day. And from here, Eser V'Arba, what does Rashi say? That we're Maisivim B'Tei Nesibur Sheish Brachas Al Shemona Esrei. We had an extra 6 brachas on those Tei Nesibur that they decreed back then. We'll pick up from here tomorrow.